A very good morning. My name is David Batshoffen, and welcome to In Conversation With. I host a travel blog called Travel and Things, and my guest that I'll be chatting to today is Pierre Pienaar, who is a product specialist at Cape Union Mart. Pierre, hi, how are you doing?
Morning, David. Very well, and you? Morning, listeners. Great to be on the show.
Where do you find yourself in lockdown? I see a buffer around your neck, so I'm assuming you're in an office and you have to wear a mask.
I have to wear a mask, but at the moment we're at the distribution center. I haven't gone back to the office yet. We're trying to work as hard as possible to recover from this lockdown period. So there's quite a bit of a backlog regarding the supplies to our customers. So we're doing our utmost best to pull people from all over the company, whether it's from stores or whether it's from the head office, to go and find the customer stock, get it shipped out to them as quickly as possible.
So which is harder, doing this or climbing Kili?
Sure. That's a tough one. Both have their own challenges. Kili was a lot of fun, and we were able to get outdoors. Here we're stuck inside a big distribution center with no view.
That is the one thing about Kilimanjaro. It does have a great view, and a 360 view at that.
Yeah, especially that morning on Stella Point. I remember standing there with you, David.
I look at the certificates every day. They hang in my office. And after the second time, I remembered why I didn't want to go back. And now I'm thinking maybe I can try for the oldest man on Kilimanjaro.
Sure, you've got a few years to go for that.
I don't know. What is the oldest? Was there no, I think there was somebody in their 80s or 70s that summited.
I believe it's in their 80s, and I speak under correction, but yeah, it was quite an achievement.
That is an achievement. It is indeed. Pierre, talk to us. People know the brand Cape Union Mart. It's been around for a while. Talk us through the company and what a product specialist actually does. What is your role?
Thank you. That is quite an interesting question, but let's start with the company. Since 1933, where the grandfather of our current executive chairman started the company, a small Navy and Army and surplus store on the corner of Corporation and Mostert Street in Cape Town. And we've since grown since 1933 to now. We've got, I lose track, but more than 100 Cape Union Mart stores, 130 Cape Union Mart stores, if I remember correctly. Wow. We also have Old Khaki, which is our fashion brand. We also have Poetry, which is our ladies' eclectic brand. We've recently acquired Kido, which is the brand that suits the South African baby most suited. And our Tread and Miller brand, which is, we were focusing on dress footwear. And yeah, have achieved great successes in the short time that Tread and Miller has been available. So company's grown from strength to strength.
I must say your products are long, have a long life. I shared with you just before we came on air the fact that my Keway fleece was stolen in a robbery just recently, and I'd had it for 14 years. I had it since we climbed Kilimanjaro. I loved that jacket with such a passion. And even at 14 years old, worn almost every day, burnt in a fireworks accident, I would not give it away. And then I forgot it at a restaurant and they were robbed. The jacket is gone and you guys no longer keep it. What sort of a company are you that don't keep stock 16 years later?
Hi, David, I'm so sorry for your loss. I know the feeling when we lose our favorite piece of gear. My girlfriend told me a similar story recently where she had a Keway backpack, the Keway Gradient backpack, which is still in circulation at the moment. But the one that she had 12, 13 years ago was green, and the new one's blue. So obviously it's just not good enough for her. And she wants the green one specially made for her because you kind of fall in love with your Keway equipment over the years.
Well, it says a lot about your brand. And a lot about how well it's made and how well it's loved by people who buy and who use it.
Yeah, thank you. I've always said Keway is the only way, and then that's really where my job comes in. We sell technical products that have technical features that benefit our customers.
Mm.
And often if you don't read the entire manual or know the entire history, we often miss these benefits, and we don't even know that this benefit was available to us. Often, like we struggle on our new phones, we don't use them to their utmost capability. And my job is to ensure that our staff and our customers know the product and know the features and the benefits and of how they work.
That is always the thing with a phone, is you get a new phone and you get all excited, and then you get one, as long as you remember from your old phone features that you used, the new ones are of no use to you, or because you don't know about them. So what sort of products would you be talking about? I know that Cape Union Mart doesn't necessarily sell phones, but you sell handheld GPSs and a variety of other electronic devices.
Yeah, when it comes to the exciting stuff that we sell, you asked me to bring a few items.
Yes, what toys have you got? Yeah. Show me things.
Before we get there, I was looking through the online stockroom, which has products that some of our stores don't sell. And I got so excited trying to choose what not to bring. Otherwise, I would have brought that entire stockroom here to show you all of the exciting stuff. It literally is like walking through a toy store as an adult. As our needs change as we get older, we don't go to the Toys R Us and Reggie's anymore. Cape Union Mart becomes our toy store, and then there is just so many fun things that we can play with. One of the first things that I brought was linking up to Father's Day. We're always struggling for gifts, especially for a dad that already has everything, and it's a question that comes to me by customers all the time. And I generally lean towards my old favorites, and cool product that we recently got in is a hydro flask. Yeah, it seems simple enough, but these are not cheap items, and it's not something you generally purchase for yourself. So a great gift idea, because it keeps your cold drinks cold for many, many hours throughout the day. And even if you do decide to put coffee in it, so it's not for hot or cold, it's, they actually swing both ways, if I'm allowed to say that.
Well, you just have, and I don't edit these. so what? Hang on. You can't just bring the thing out and then just stick it away. Talk me through the benefits of this particular one, other than the ubiquitous old tartan flask that we all know.
Oh, good question. So firstly is the double wall insulation. They use food grade stainless steel, which is called 18/8 stainless steel. You probably won't see much on the picture there, but yeah. It's odor resistant, it's stain resistant, it's rust resistant. So any drinks that you pour in won't taste like that drink when you drink from it again. And because of its double wall vacuum insulation, the inner material doesn't make contact with the outer material. So if you put a cold drink in there, you could put it in direct sunlight, and 8 hours later, you will still have an icy cold drink.
Wow.
And that often is an issue with us here in South Africa, where we might forget a flask in our cars during a hot day, or with the cold front, which we still need to experience for this year. You need to keep your drinks hot as well.
There's nothing worse than a mouth of lukewarm Coca-Cola or something like that. It's the same as cold coffee. You know, I'm sitting here drinking tea at the moment, and I'll forget it. Notice that there's some tea maybe in an hour's time. Take a mouthful and then go, no, why did I do that? You said it was a pricey object here. What sort of price are we talking on that? Well,
we do sell cheaper flasks as well. They range from about 200 Rand. This particular one, because it's of such exceptional quality and how they make it, it's over 600. It's actually 675 Rand.
Yeah, so but if you love your dad.
That's it. And we also like to give our customers the good, better, best option. So we do have products that are of a really good quality at a very reasonable price. And then we have products that even exceed the quality of this one at much greater prices, up to 2,000 Rand for a beer growler.
Wow. Well, I mean, I suppose it depends what you're going to use it for and how long you want to keep it, because there's nothing worse than buying cheap and then realizing in maybe a year's time that you've got to buy a second one. So you've already spent 400 to 500 Rand on one that you can't use anymore, rather than buying a reasonable quality like that. And then you've got it for, I mean, I've still got stuff that I had on Killy in 2006 that I'm using on a regular basis when I go into the bush now.
Yes.
Pee bottles and those sort of things that seem to just last forever.
I still have mine as well. Don't worry. No.
But you know the trick with that, Pierre. I love doing it. You empty it out because you've used it during the night. You don't want to get up in the middle of the night. And then you empty it out in front of people, rinse it out, pour water in it, and then drink from it, because it's non-porous. And it's designed to do that. It's designed to be utilized either for urine or for drinking out of. Depends which comes first. Or am I wrong? Have I been doing it wrong all these years?
It is possible to do it, but I'll leave that party trick to you. I usually have an exclusive pee bottle and exclusive water bottle. But in an emergency, it won't make a difference.
No, but I mean, I do as well. It's just a party trick. And people go, ooh, oh, and I go, no, taste.
Yes, no, it won't make a difference because, yes, that doesn't absorb odor.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you're buying properly, that's 14 years old and it looks like I took it off a shelf yesterday. It really and truly does. But again, you've got to look after the equipment. I mean, you buy a bottle like that and you're hurling it around and dropping it on rocks and stuff like that. It might not last quite as long as you expected, but that's because of the way you're treating it.
Actually, David, I know we're referring to the Nalgene 1 liter bottle, which is legendary in the outdoor industry. And I must contradict you a little bit there. My bottle does look like it's 14 years old because it's taken a lot of punishment over the years. Oh, and I'm happy to say it's survived.
Despite your best attempts.
Despite falling on rocks and falling all over the place. They really are cool bottles and legendary in their own right. Yeah.
Okay, what else have you got? Because before we started our chat, I know that you walked in with mounds of gear, which is now just out of sight of the camera. So what's behind door number 2, Pierre?
Door number 2 is a new product that we've recently released, and we call this one the Keway Business Roller. Now, fans of Cape Union Mart will know the Keway spinner roller gear bag, which is also a hard case bag.
Right.
This particular one, the business roller, only comes in one size. The spinner came in 3 sizes. It was about a 30 liter, a 60 liter, and a 100 liter, all fit into each other for easy packaging. But the business roller, we try to adjust a little bit. The most exciting thing that I need to show you is a little silicone tab here, which you lift up, and then it has ports for a USB. So the idea is that your power bank, which is also a great gift idea for Father's Day, fits inside the backpack. The cables are included inside the bag, and there's a little special slot for the power bank to go in, and you can then charge your device through there. We've also put an auxiliary cord in here so that if you want to keep your phone inside the backpack, you can still listen to music or use phone calls using the applicable earphones. Yeah, and that's the cool thing about the innovations that we can apply to our gear as we learn more about our customers' needs and wants.
That is fascinating. I think that's the first time that I've seen built-in ports in a bag of that nature. Now, I'm assuming that size is carry-on, so you could take that onto a flight.
Yes.
What is this flight? What is a flight?
Okay,
I don't remember. I remember them from history when I did it at school. I don't know what they are anymore.
apparently we as humans learned how to fly at the turn of the century, and we've learned how not to fly in this century. So unfortunately, this flying thing doesn't work for us anymore.
Somebody
Yeah.
said to me the other day, Pierre, what am I doing at the moment? I said, I'm a non-traveling travel writer, which
Yes.
they quite like, and that's what I am at the moment. So I like that. That may have to go onto a to-do list for next year.
Certainly. Considering these travel band as well, I need to defend that they work very well as work bags as well. So if you do have that little bit of extra luggage to and from commuting from work, or even as a student, you need to might have to carry a little bit of extra books or things like that.
Yeah.
These type of bags come in very, very handy.
And obviously you can use it to carry a laptop. It is padded inside, so that'll be taken care of.
I wish I could show you the entire 5-minute video where I unpack this bag entirely. But yeah, there's a laptop sleeve. There's even an iPad sleeve separate from the laptop sleeve. The 4 wheels all turn independently, so it's so easy to roll it along while you have to move along on your daily commute. So it really is a lot of fun.
You know, the wheels on a suitcase are such a simple thing. But if you remember back, you may be too young to remember suitcases without wheels. And then you wonder how you managed carrying heavy bags on and off planes or wherever you were going. And now you look, because the wheels on certain of these, of the new suitcases are spectacular. I mean, you can slide, yes. There are certain suitcases, I'm not going to mention brands now, that you can literally slide the length of the arrivals hall at ORT, and they will stay in a straight line.
I'm glad to say our Keway bags, but I hope you're referring to Thule bags when you're talking about the ones that stay in a straight line, because we also sell them, and that's our best option that we offer our customers. The really high-end product, yeah, which starts at about 2,000, going up to about 5,000 Rand. Where this beautiful little bag that I just showed you, because of Keway's high quality, international quality product at South African prices, it'll only set you back 1,300.
Yeah, you see, again, if you're buying to last, then the money that you spend is well worthwhile. It's, you know, it's like you buy a car, you want your car to last for more than just 6 months. But at some stage, once this lockdown is over, I'm going to get 6 or 7 of the top suitcase brands out to the airport, and we're going to have a little competition to see which brands actually roll the furthest in a straight line. I think it could be a very nice marketing tool for all of you guys.
I would love that. Can I join? I'll bring the video.
No, you can indeed. No, we'll do it properly, Pierre. We'll do it properly. There'll be pits for the teams to work on their suitcases. The whole trip, we'll turn it into like a Le Mans of suitcases. Watch, as they say in the classics, watch this space.
I like it. We should, just as a side note, we should definitely get the baggage handlers involved and put it through a pressure test of some sort.
There's all sorts of stuff we can do. we can put them on a flight that we're not on to see where they end up.
Well, you know, if we had time, I could talk about a few of those things about lost luggage, but yeah.
We could have a lot of fun. But you talk about lost luggage, Pierre, just as an aside, there's nothing worse. You're at the airport, you've come back from your holiday, you're standing at the carousel, whatever the carousel is, and it starts. And yes, the bags start coming through, and everybody, if you do like I do, which is watch the people, don't watch the suitcases, because my suitcase is a bright blue, so I can see it literally in my peripheral view. But you watch the people who are now watching the carousel for their bags, and they all have that same panicked look. Is the suitcase going to come through, and has it been tampered with? But there is nothing worse, because it's happened to me on 2 occasions. When the carousel is now empty, and it stops, and your bag is nowhere in sight, and then you go to the lost and found, and you say, "Where's my bag?" And they do a little tippity tap on the computer, and they go, "It's still in Dubai." It'll be here at 5.
Yes. I wish there was a way we can get your bags to you faster.
Yeah. Well, the beauty now, and specifically on that route before the lockdown, was the fact that there were 5 flights a day. So if you were on the very early flight, your bag normally came in on the lunchtime one. And if you're at home, it doesn't really matter as long as you know where your suitcase is. It's not lost.
Yes.
You're not in a foreign city and now trying to find it, and you've only got a few hours as a few hours window to actually find your suitcase. But anyway, Cape Union Mart is not in the business of finding your suitcases. It's in the business of supplying you with the suitcases that might eventually
protecting
get
your
lost.
luggage. Exactly.
What else have you got, Pierre?
Good old favorites. I brought some of the old ones that we know and love. The Victorinox Swiss Army knife. These beautiful collectibles start from about 200 Rand. You've got the Swiss Mini Champ.
I've got the Mini.
Legend. The Mini Champ, beautiful. They last forever if you look after it properly. And yeah, whether it's your first knife or your 100th knife, it's a perfect little add-on to any father. In the same breath, I also brought out good old favorite Leatherman. I've had mine for many, many years. It never leaves my side.
Oops, wrong side.
That is the correct side. You've still got the Wave 1. That's beautiful. Classic.
Yeah.
They've now upgraded from the Wave 2 to the Wave Plus. The Wave Plus now has a removable or replaceable wire cutter. So you don't need to send the entire tool away for a full service every time you damage your wire cutters. You can just replace them quite easily. So the tools have really advanced over the years.
The
replaceable wire cutter.
Okay. Okay, because I've had my Swiss Army knife for 40 plus years. Not that little one. I've got a big one in a leather pouch, which I forgot to bring to show you. And the only thing that I've had to replace on that, and that's happened twice, is the spring on the scissors.
Okay.
Which breaks because it's a spring, and eventually it does break. I just wish people like Leatherman and other brands would stick toothpicks into their, like the Swiss Army knife, because that toothpick is well worth the price of the item. It really is.
I also had my Swiss Army knife for many, many years, and that toothpick, after carrying the Swiss Army knife in my pocket for so many years and days on end, I was wondering what the hygiene side regarding that toothpick and using it as a toothpick is. I usually used it to clean my nails after a hard day in the bush.
No, I don't do that. I use one of the blades for that. That toothpick is used as a toothpick. End of story. But the problem then, specifically if you're a biltong eater and you know it's going to get stuck in your tooth, you have to keep both a Swiss Army knife or a toothpick and a Leatherman or one of the other, because Swiss Army knives are not really a multi-tool like the Leatherman, as far as I'm concerned. They have other purposes. Your Leatherman also comes with a warning, and when I got my very first one, the guys from Leatherman said, you are going to cut your finger when you open it for the first time. And I went, nonsense, I'm going to be very cautious. And what happened? Of course, I cut myself. Got hold of them and I said, guess what? And they went, we warned you.
Yeah, they come razor sharp from the factory, and that is the cool thing. We're heading back to what you mentioned about the Swiss Army knife and the Leatherman. It's apples and pears if you really if you want to compare them. There is no comparison. The Swiss Army knife is a multifunction pocket knife. It's something that you carry in your pocket all day. It has a knife on it and a few other functions that you might use on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. Leatherman, on the other hand, I found that as the tool to use when I don't have my tools with me. So it's literally a toolbox on your belt instead of just a multifunction knife.
And both of them, if I remember correctly, come with a lifelong guarantee. So if there are issues, they will replace or repair.
Let's not get too deep into in different policies about different companies, and each case will be handled on a case-to-case basis. But the Swiss Army knife has, they state that they've got a lifetime warranty against manufacturing faults. So if you use the blade as a screwdriver and the blade breaks, they tell you to throw it away and buy a new one. But if you use the blade as a blade and it breaks, they don't send your tool all the way back to Switzerland to reassemble a new one for you. They basically get you a new one and replace it with a new one. When it comes to Leatherman, the policy for Leatherman differs from country to country. But here in South Africa, they still service and replace parts and often give you a refurbished one when you send your Leatherman away. Unless it's got specific, unless it's got specific engravings or signatures on it.
Yeah, I broke mine in New Zealand in 2007. And when I contacted Leatherman New Zealand, they said, look, the one that you have, we no longer carry, but we'll give you the new one. And I popped down to the local version of your shop in Auckland, and they just gave me another one, which I thought was very nice of them.
I wish we could just swap them out all the time, but we do need to be in contact with the supplier so that they can
obviously
that they can decide on behalf of their product. Unfortunately,
no. This is the thing, because as you well know, blades are very useful for opening screws when you don't have a screwdriver around. Cutting through wire, cutting through steel if necessary. You can MacGyver all sorts of things with a knife blade that shouldn't be done. And then when it breaks and you go, ooh, and they don't want to replace, and you go, but lifetime, no. Lifetime if you use it correctly.
That is the key. Use it for its designed purpose. That's what it's about.
Are those, you said that, I'm struggling with my own words this morning. You said that particular Swiss Army knife was a collectible. What have they done to make it collectible, Pierre?
What do they? I've forgotten the name of the pattern.
It's in the belly.
Yes, the belly, yes. But the pattern name is referred to something. So, yeah, special editions are available all the time. This is the 10-function Recruit. But the casing is unique. They usually come with that famous red casing.
Yeah, the same as this mini one that lies on my desk. Also, if you're awake in the early hours of the morning and you have DSTV, there is How Is It Made and those sort of programs. And I remember seeing one documentary about how they make Swiss Army knives. But as we all know, that particular channel just re-shows the same things over and over and over. If you're awake at midnight and at 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock, you can see the same Swiss Army knife being made over and over again. And then they pretend it's exciting because it's the first time you've seen it.
No, sorry, I don't often watch TV, but I have seen the movie on YouTube. And I love seeing how things are made, especially cool things like an Opinel knife for a Swiss Army.
Just as a matter of interest, where do you source your product from? Because I know we're looking at bottles and multi-tools and that sort of thing, but you also have clothing brands. Are they sourced locally? Do you source internationally?
Sure. The sourcing is not really my department, but I do know many of the suppliers. So a lot of the international products are either brought in by a specific supplier, which we purchase from.
Right.
Where possible, we try and have exclusive brands. And we love having exclusive brands in South Africa because of our buying power. Cape Union Mart often makes special arrangements with international customers where we are the only stockists of that particular product in South Africa. Big brands like Deuter, burst, sure, just a few to lark and all, just off the top of my head. I'm missing very important ones, I know, and I'm going to get into trouble for it. But yeah, where possible, we like having exclusivity. The ones we're proudest of, though, is the good old favorite Keway, Old Khaki, and Poetry. And obviously Keto and Tread and Miller, which are all our own brands. So most of the Keway gear is still made in our Keway factory here in Cape Town. But unfortunately, due to supply and bulk orders, we do sometimes still have to import from China, but then we do import from the best factories we can find.
Great. So I want you to go to your Keway factory, find that a roll of green fleece, and get them to make me another one, please.
I will do my best. If you want. The first time I walked into the material room, I was like a starstruck little boy. There was just so many. It's so big. And now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to dig in there for years to be able to find that material again.
What else do you have on the desk in front of you, Pierre?
What else? Let's quickly talk about this one, the old favorites. It doesn't look recognizable in its current shape, but these are our down jackets. So the Keway down jackets have really, over the years, been so popular. And wherever you look on a cold winter's day, you'll see one of these puffer jackets. I specifically brought one which is sleeveless because it's the first one I could find while going through the factory. But this particular one is called the Keway Urko Redown jacket. And I brought this specifically because I have to brag about this. Redown is a product is a company in Europe that source used or pre-loved down duvets, down sleeping bags, and pillows, and then they extract the down from the product, and basically once they've sterilized and cleaned it, they produce a brand new product without any additional influence from the animals. So
I think that is spectacular.
Down.
I think, because I know that there, and again, I'm not going to mention them. There is a South African footwear brand that has said that they can resole their shoes, because I've worn their particular shoe for 3 years now. The upper is just the way I like it. The sole is getting to the point that it needs to be replaced. They can do that. And there's an international clothing brand, an expensive clothing brand that I believe it builds their marketing around the fact that they don't want you to buy another one of their shirts or whatever. They would rather take your shirt and repair it and send it back to you. They're very much into recycling and have built their brand, their specific brands around that, which I think is great. And that redown as well. I think people should be aware of that, because it all goes to the consciousness, conservation consciousness of what we're doing to this planet at the moment, and what we thought was sustainable is not going to be sustainable for too long. So we may as well start looking at brands like that and supporting them, which I think is a great idea. And that's those puffer jackets are great Father's Day gifts. I hope my daughter's listening.
Make sure she does.
Yeah, I'm going to send her the video with the time code. Watch at Pierre, to wrap it up, you mentioned a video about the suitcase. Where can people watch videos as a product specialist? Are you doing online videos now so people can see the products? And also, how can they find the online store?
Well, thank you for that. My product videos are still very much in the infancy stages. So I'm currently sharing them with Cape Union Mart stores wherever possible, so that the store team members can upskill themselves. I have still got a little bit work to do to improve it to a level which I will seem or deem worthy enough to share with my customers, but I'm working on it, and I hope to get it out to you as soon as possible. Product information and pretty much our product catalog, all Dad's should go on to capeunionmart.co.za. Basically, look for your Father's Day gift, copy and paste the URL, and just forward it to your children. And yeah, basically making your own little wish list for them.
I think that's great. Pierre, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I've been in conversation with Pierre Pienaar, who is a product specialist at Cape Union Mart. Pierre, stay healthy, stay safe, and good to catch up with you again.
It's been a lot of fun, David. Thanks for having me. Good to hope to see you again soon.